welcome back to The Bright Side. Macy here, The Bright Side Girl, and today we're doing my April reading wrap-up. So yay! I read enough things to do a separate reading wrap-up and audiobook wrap-up. So my audiobook wrap-up will be up tomorrow. Once it's available, I will put it up here in the cards. You guys can click that little link and check it out. But for now, we're going to talk about the 4 books I read for the month of April. So I'm not going to go in order that I read them because I didn't like the last 2 nearly as much as the first 2. One of the books I read towards the end of the month, I picked this up literally because it was tiny. And I was like, let's just cram some books in at the end of the month so I can do a separate reading wrap up. And this was just a couple hundred pages and I managed to read it in time, and that was Beast by Donna Jo Napoli. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I really like retellings. I actually really liked Donna Jo Napoli's other book called Dark Shimmer, which was kind of a backstory on the evil queen from Snow White. I really loved it. So I decided to pick this one up because it's a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, but kind of more about the Beast and like how he became the Beast. It also is set more in like Persian folklore. Because Beauty and the Beast is such an old fairy tale, there are a lot of cultures that have similar versions. And so there's kind of like a Persian-esque version of the story. And that's the one that she based her story off of, which I thought was really interesting and really cool. There is a lot of mythology based around that area and religion and things like that. However, this was one of the weirdest books I've ever read and I didn't really like it. It was super bizarre. We have a young Persian prince. He makes basically a kind of a religious mistake, and he gets cursed by a pari or a peri, and that's basically a fairy, and she sends a curse on him, turns him into a beast, and he winds up having to leave his family and his legacy behind and figure things out and trying to get a girl to fall in love with him. So I'm gonna spoil this just a tiny bit. It's not really a spoiler because I feel like you find it out really fast. But if you absolutely want to know nothing, just skip ahead like 30 seconds. But it's not really a spoiler, but some people might think it. So he actually winds up turning into a lion, and not like a man lion like we see on like Disney's Beauty and the Beast, where he's a creature but he's clearly a person. He's like straight up a lion. Looks like a lion, acts like a lion, has feelings like a lion, and instincts like a lion. And so the first part of this book, he is a lion and he's figuring out how to be a lion and what to do about that, and how to get food, and how to like interact with other lions, and how to mate with other lions. And it was so weird, and it was a very long part of this book, like probably over half the book. We didn't get any of the Belle part of the story until like the last 50 pages, which this was originally supposed to be like his origin story of how he became the Beast, so I was kind of okay with that. But that origin part was terrible, and he was so incredibly unlikable that I didn't feel like his character arc was enough for me to be okay with it. Like, it was so terrible, and it was so bizarre and really like inappropriate in my personal opinion. I really didn't like it. I like the idea, and I like that it was set like in Persia for parts of it, and there was a lot of Persian folklore. But I really didn't enjoy this. Like, it was weird because I didn't mind the writing, but I was just reading this like, what the heck is happening? So I'm probably gonna unhaul this one after I do another video, but yeah, about 2.5 stars for me. So because of that, I also picked up The Beast Within by Serena Valentino. So this is book 2 in the Disney Villains series. So this is also a backstory of the Beast, but this one is based purely off the Disney movie. This is a Disney Press series. So the first book was a backstory of the evil queen from Snow White, and then we have the Beast and how he became the Beast for this one. These books are kind of strange because they have like a cheesiness level that I don't really enjoy, but then usually by the middle part they kind of suck me in, and there's like a bunch of different elements in here that I enjoyed. Like, there were some witchy sisters. There are things that kind of tie the entire villain series together, so that was kind of cool because there are things in this one that kind of tie into the next one, which is about Ursula. I really enjoyed that one. However, once again, this made the Beast so much more unlikable in my opinion, that again, I just don't think that the character arc was large enough for us to forgive him as readers. Like, he was really terrible, and it was really bad. Like, he hurt a bunch of people. He was best friends with Gaston, and he really liked Gaston, and they were like buddies and pals. and I thought that was kind of messed up. So I don't know, I enjoyed reading this one and I liked some of the folklore, but I liked the first one much better, and I really didn't like kind of where things kind of went. So I enjoyed this one a lot more, but it was still a 3-star read. Okay, now that those are out of the way, we are going to talk about the other 2 books I read, which are The White Rose and The Black Key from the Jewel trilogy. I finished my first series / trilogy this year. So I read The Jewel back in March, so I will link that video up in the cards if you guys want to hear me talk about that, because I can't say a lot about these because they're the books 2 and 3 in the series. This is a dystopian series set on an island where the royalty, for some reason or other, cannot bear children. Kind of train these young girls and things in these lower poor areas that are able to bear children to be surrogates, and they kind of train them a certain way, and then they have like an auction and the royalty go in and take what they think is the best surrogate. Kind of Handmaid's Tale-y, kind of Hunger Games-y, all that kind of stuff. What I really loved about this series is there is also kind of a magical element. The girls have these abilities that they call auguries, which is like the ability to change the color of something or to make something grow mildly, and they kind of train them in that to help with the pregnancy portion. And also, the better that their abilities are, the more likely they are to go to a good house, because the higher royalties will want a better surrogate. So, but they're basically ignored and kind of looked down upon, despite the fact that they're doing this thing for society against their will. And there are so many characters in here, and this just totally blew me away. I do enjoy dystopians, so keep that in mind, but I thought this is one of the best dystopian trilogies I've ever read from start to finish. I really fell in love with the characters. I liked that there was kind of that magical element. There was a back history in here that was super awesome. It was way darker than I expected at parts, but that kept it really interesting. You get back history on a lot of different characters, and it's not just about fighting the government or romance. It's also kind of about discovering your ancestry. I thought these were absolutely awesome. These kind of helped get me through this lockdown life. I really, really enjoyed them. Giving them all 5 stars. No, they're not the best books of all time, but I just enjoyed them so much. I read them so fast. They got me out of my reading slump. So thankful that I didn't unhaul these when I was kind of thinking about it last year. Really enjoyable. If you like dystopians at all, and don't be kind of thrown off by that surrogate part. I was kind of worried about it because I don't necessarily love that type of dystopian, but I feel like this one is not gonna bother you. It's just, it's so good, but there are some darker elements in here, so kind of keep that in mind, but it is still YA. I thought these were amazing. I'm so happy I read them, and they made for my April reading month to be awesome. I also buddy read them with my friend Claire, and we were texting each other, so that always makes things more fun. Okay, so those are all the things I physically read for the month of April. I did get a little bit further in ACOMAF. I just wanted to finish these before that because I was reading them with my friend Claire, and we were reading them so fast. And then it was kind of closer to the end of the month, and I have 300 pages left in ACOMAF, which is A Court of Mist and Fury, and I knew I wasn't going to finish it in time, so that's why I crammed in those Beast books. So I am going to finish that. I am vlogging it. I will have that vlog up at some point in the future. But that's what I read for this month. I did enjoy 2 of them a lot, so let me know if you guys had a good reading month, if you were getting a lot of things knocked off your TBR. I'm super happy that I actually read 4 things this month and not 1, so that was awesome. And I will see you guys next time on The Bright Side. Bye!